Welcome dear student. In one another session, myself, Mrs. Darshana Sandeep Shinde. Today we deal with the chemotherapy of microbial diseases first. In that we cover the sulfonamides, how they use as a antibacterial chemotherapeutic agents. Let's start our session. Learning outcomes of our today's session. After watching this video, students are able to understand and recognize what is meant by chemotherapy, what is bactericides, what is the term involving the bacteriostatic, then sulfonamides, classification of sulfonamides, pharmacological action of sulfonamides, mechanism of action of sulfonamides, and adverse reactions and therapeutic uses of sulfonamides. Let's start the session. First of all, we see what is the infectious diseases. Disease caused by the microorganism are known as the infectious disease. Microorganism includes the bacteria, virus and fungi also. That means any infection caused by the bacteria, virus and or fungi are known as the infectious disease. What is meant by chemotherapy? Chemotherapy, it is defined as the use of chemical compounds in the treatment of the infectious diseases so as to destroy the microorganism without damaging the host tissue. For the treatment of the infectious diseases, we use the different chemical compounds without damaging the host body. They only destroy the microorganism. This total method or for total treatment is known as the chemotherapy. Antibacterial chemotherapeutic agents can be classified or they can be divided into two classes. First one is a bactericidal. Bactericidal, that means these agents kill the bacteria. Example of it: penicillin, cephalosporin, aminoglycosides, clotrimazole, isoniazid. All these are the bactericidal. That means they are capable of killing the bacteria or fungi and virus. Then bacteriostatic. These are the agents which prevent the growth of the bacteria. Bacteriostatic, these only prevent the growth of the bacteria. They do not kill that bacteria, only prevent the growth of the bacteria. Example of it: sulfonamide, chloramphenicol, tetracycline, erythromycin, trimethoprim, lincomycin, clindamycin, PAS, etc. All these are the bacteriostatic in their action. Bacteriostatic merely prevent the growth of the organisms. The final elimination depend on largely on the body of the defense. Hence, if these defense are inadequate or if the drug administration is discontinued prematurely, the bacterial population may increase again and relapse occur. That means bacteriostatic only prevent the growth of that microorganisms, and final elimination is totally or largely depend on the body defense. How body defends. If we discontinue this bacteriostatic agent, there may be the chances of again relapse of that disease occur. Then sulfonamides. The antibacterial compound containing the sulfonamides group are called as the sulfonamides. Classification of it: according to the therapeutic uses, sulfonamides are classified as: first category is those used for the treatment of the systemic infection, and second, those used for treatment of the local gastrointestinal infections. First of all, we see the sulfonamides used for treating the systemic infections. The first type, it's involved short-acting sulfonamides. Example of it's sulfanilamide, sulfadiazine, sulfafurazole, sulfadimidine, then sulfamerazide, sulfacetamide and sulfamethoxazole. These are the all short-acting sulfonamides. Then intermediate acting sulfonamides, sulfaphenazole and sulfamethoxazole. Then next category is the long acting sulfonamides. It involved the sulfadimethoxazine and sulfomethoxypyridazine. This is the classification, or this is the three types of the sulfonamides, three class of the types: short acting sulfonamides, intermediate acting sulfonamides and long acting sulfonamides. Then we see sulfonamides used for the gastrointestinal infection. Sulfaguanidine and succinil sulfathiazole are some common example of sulfonamide used for treating the gastrointestinal infection. First of all, we understand what is the pharmacological action behind this sulfonamide. The important pharmacological action is antibacterial activity. It's antibacterial activity. They are effective against a variety of gram-positive and gram-negative organisms such as the staphylococci, gonococci, staphylococci, pneumococci, meningococci, clostridium, bacillus, anthracis, E. coli bacteria and actinomyces. These all our sulfonamide group is effective against all types of the bacteria. Sulfonamides are mainly bacteriostatic, but when used in a high concentration, such as in case of the urinary tract infection, they may be act as a bactericidal compound. Though in a normal dose, sulfonamides, their action shows as a bacteriostatic, but if we use the higher concentration, they act as a bactericidal compound. The clinical efficacy is much less than that of the antibiotic. Then we see the mechanism of action of sulfonamide. Sulfonamide has a structural similarity to the para-aminobenzoic acid, that is PABA. Sulfonamide structure and PABA structures are similar one. Hence, it competes with the PABA in bacterial metabolism. Folic acid derived from PABA is important in the bacterial mechanism. This sulfonamide inhibits the enzyme folic acid synthetase, which is useful in the conversion of PABA to folic acid. Then, this causes folic acid deficiency in that kind of a bacteria and resulting in injury to the bacterial cell. Such a injured bacteria can be easily phagocyted, or they can be easily phagocyted by our body tissue. Our phagocytosis can be occurred by our WBC and some lymph tissue, or they are present in the liver tissue. Sulfonamides are effective against those microorganisms which synthesize their own folic acids. They are ineffective in the presence of the pus. This is the mechanism of action. We see the flow chart of it. Sulfonamide, if we administered sulfonamide, it has a structural similarity with the PABA. Then it is responsible for the PABA from that site. And though the PABA's structure and sulfonamide structure is similar one, it replaces the place of the PABA, and sulfonamide prevent the synthesis of the folic acid. Okay. Then if that PABA is replaced by the sulfonamide and prevent the synthesis of folic acid get deficient, and it causes the deficiency of folic acid. And if the bacterial cell wall do not get the folic acid, it result into the death of that cell by the phagocytosis of our different cell WBC, and results in the all this is result into the bacteriostatic action. If the folic acid deficient, it ultimately shows the bacteriostatic action. In this way, sulfonamides can show their mechanism of action as a bacteriostatic. Then we see the adverse reaction. Below mentioned are some adverse reactions associated with the sulfonamide therapy. First is intolerance, fever, skin rash, joint pains, bronchospasm, toxic hepatitis, toxic nephritis, acute hemolytic anemia. These are the some adverse effect. Intolerance adverse effect. Then it also shows some urinary tract adverse effect, renal irritation, obstruction to urine flow, crystalluria, that means formation of the crystals into the urine, hematuria, that means presence of blood in the urine. The renal toxicity of sulfonamide can be minimized by adequate output of the urine, making the urine alkaline, and by using the combination of different sulfonamides rather than the single use. If any patient can cause the urinary tract as an adverse effect, then physician should suggest that use the different sulfonamide than the single one. The combination of different sulfonamide is suggested. Then next adverse reaction is agranulocytosis. It is responsible for the aplastic anemia. Then confusion, depression of the central nervous system, fatigue, psychic recoilings are some central nervous system related adverse effect can also be shown by the sulfonamides. Then we see the preparation and the dose. Sulfadiazine 500 mg tablet dose, initial 2 to 3 gram, 4 to 6 and then 1 gram every hour. Sulfadimidine 500 mg tablet 4 to 6 hours. Sulfaxoxazole initially 2 to 4 gram followed by 1 to 2 gram every 4 to 6 hours. Then sulfacetamide which is used in the eye drops, its concentration is 10 to 30%, and in the eye ointment its concentration is only 6%, is effective one. Then the therapeutic uses. Sulfonamides can be used as a treatment of the regimen in the following infections. It is used in the urinary bacillary dysentery, urinary tract infection, meningococcal meningitis, Haemophilus influenza meningitis, conjunctivitis. In all that cases sulfonamides used. Then we see the next drug, that is the clotrimazole. Clotrimazole, it is actually a antibacterial obtained from the combination of product. Combination of sulfamethoxazole and trimethoprim. Sulfamethoxazole is a sulfonamide and trimethoprim. Its combination is clotrimazole, and where the sulfamethoxazole concentration is 5 and trimethoprim's concentration is 1. That is 5:1 ratio. These two drugs can taken, and there is a combination of these two is known as the clotrimazole. These two agents synergically by blocking the formation of folic acid and its utilization. These two agents, if we take on, they give synergic effect and they block the folic acid formations and utilization also. It is used for the acute and chronic urinary tract infection caused by the E. coli bacteria. It is also useful in the treating the pneumonia. In pneumonial infection, clotrimazole is also used. Patient must be adequate fluid to prevent the crystalluria. To avoid the crystalluria, patient should be take adequate fluids. This combination of drug may produce the megaloblastic anemia. This one is the side effect of it. Clotrimazole may be produce megaloblastic anemia. That means the RBC side should be greater than the normal one. Then we reach towards the summary. In this session, we see what is meant by chemotherapy, what is bactericidal agent, what is bacteriostatic. Then sulfonamides, in that we see the classification of sulfonamide, pharmacological action of sulfonamide, mechanism of action of sulfonamide, adverse reactions and therapeutic uses of sulfonamides. Thank you very much for attending this session.